Welcome to the West Wing Week, your guide to everything that's happening at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But first, a brief message from the Director of Presidential Correspondence, Mike Kelleher.
We receive thousands of messages sent to President Obama from the American people each day. To quickly get your message to the White House, it's best to use the Contact Us web form on whitehouse.gov. If you have to write us a paper letter, type it up. Whether you email or send a paper letter, use the subject line to describe the purpose and content of your letter. And consider sending your gifts to a local charity rather than the First Family, gifts that are edible or otherwise.
This week, something different. Mailbag Day. Mailbag Day is when we take time out from the usual regimen of vans, airplanes, helicopters, and boats to answer some letters and emails that were sent to the President. Our first question today is about trash. Do you compost at the White House? If not, what do you do with your table scraps? Well, to find out, we asked the White House executive pastry chef, Bill Yossis. The story starts in the kitchen.
Yes, we do compost at the White House, and it starts in here in the main kitchen. We take all of our vegetable and fruit scraps, and we take them down to the compost bin, where we put them in with soil and let them deteriorate. We don't have any scraps. You know what? We could get some scraps in the pastry kitchen if we could make that like a second scene. Yeah. Scene 2. Okay. Cut. The whole purpose of composting is to improve the microbiology of the soil without adding chemicals. So we save all these and we add them to our compost heap down on the south lawn, which is next to the garden. And the purpose of this is to return the minerals and nutrients to the soil. I'm the least likely person to be working on this garden. I spent most of my life in a small apartment in New York City where I couldn't even grow geraniums. There was no sunlight. So maybe that's why when Mrs. Obama started this garden, I got so interested in it. Besides the food scraps from the kitchen, we also add anything from the garden that we're not using. The tomatoes we'll take off to eat, but of course the heavy stalk in the center and the leaves, when they are fully grown, those will go into the compost as well. This is 3 bins that are where we hold the compost. So we throw it in there. So you want a layer of the fruit scraps or the active organic material, and then you want a layer of soil. So what I'm going to do is take this soil and cover it over. That accomplishes 2 things. The healthful bacteria that are already in the soil begin to feed on the fruit scraps, and you also have, as you can see, beneficial spiders and worms. As they consume the organic material, they really create soil. In about 6 weeks, it'll be ready to turn over again. We'll let it, what's called cure, for another 4 weeks, and then let it sit for a month or 2 in this bin, and then it's ready to use. Composting is what this garden is really about, and the whole question of sustainability and using natural ways to replenish the land.
Our next letter comes from Sally in Mississippi. Sally writes, Dear President Obama, the carpet in the Oval Office bears the seal of the President. Is it true that the eagle's head turns from the olive branch to the arrows when the U.S. is at war? To answer this one, Brian Mosteller, who you may remember from a West Wing Week episode 2 weeks ago, hit the books.
Hello, Sally. Welcome to the Oval Office, and thanks for your question. The rug that's in the Oval Office today was actually installed by President Bush. The President's seal that's on the rug has the eagle's head facing the right, or the position of honor, the laurels instead of the arrows. This is the official and only design of the presidential seal since 1944 and 1945. Now, there are 3 other places in the White House where you can see the eagle takes on a different design. One's on the Resolute desk, which was a gift from Queen Victoria to President Rutherford B. Hayes back in 1880. Here, the eagle's head faces the arrows. Another example is just outside the diplomatic reception room. What's it? And Sally, if you were to visit the White House, just outside the East Wing where tours enter, you'd see another example of the old eagle design where the head faces the arrows. Here, there is a reference to the State of the Nation when the East Wing was built in 1942. But rest assured, Sally, if you come to the Oval Office, any rug you see in there today will have the eagle's head facing the olive branches.
Our final letter comes from Aaron, who wonders if there is a way to find out when the President orders the flag to have staff. We've asked Staff Secretary Lisa Brown to start at the beginning and explain the whole process.
To answer your question, there are 2 ways in which the flags can be ordered to be lowered to half-staff. First, by statute, there are a number of times in which the U.S. flag is lowered. Upon the death of the president or vice president, a member of Congress, a member of the cabinet, a sitting Supreme Court justice. Congress has actually ordered that the flag be lowered to half-mast for a period of time. In addition, the president himself or herself has the discretion to lower the flag in other instances. Most recent lowering of the flag to half-staff was in honor of Dorothy Height, and this is an instance in which the president actually exercised his power to order that the flags be lowered. And when he does that, he signs a proclamation ordering that the flags be lowered, and this is a copy of the proclamation in the instance of lowering the flags upon the death of Dorothy Height, the great civil rights leader. So if you're interested in learning when the flag's going to be lowered, you can look both as a general matter at the statute, 4 U.S.C. Section 7, which lists when Congress has ordered that the flag be lowered. In addition, when the president exercises his discretion to have the flag lowered and signs a proclamation, our press office will put out a copy of that proclamation, and it will also be on our website, www.whitehouse.gov.
Thanks so much for being with us on Mailbag Day. For links, transcripts, and videos of the President's activities this week, go to whitehouse.gov. And thanks again for checking out your West Wing Week.
You can leave your jacket on the car. It's up. It's safe. It's safe. It's safe. It's okay. Nobody's going to steal it.